Creating a system that reflects the community is in itself a community building process. When painful or violent conflict occurs, we actually create more security for our communities when we move towards each other rather than away from each other.
Martin Luther King said, if you want peace, work for justice. And we really need a justice system that is fair.
Ideally, we're looking not to replace one justice system with another, but to begin questioning and dialoguing around justice, using as a basis what we already have.
At the Gandhi Institute, we don't just want to give a historical look back to what people like King or Gandhi did. We're wanting to move those ideas and principles forward in the world. And for us, restorative practices are an opportunity to really embody nonviolence in a systemic way, in a way that our community desperately needs.
We started in communities in the mid-90s in Rio de Janeiro, where I live. And these were communities that were off limits to most of what the state does. They were run by armed gangs. We started with conversations with the community around what it was that was working, what wasn't working, and the way they responded to conflict. And slowly, through experimenting, we started to notice certain dynamics, and we would try to repeat the things that worked well and drop the things that weren't working. And that's how the work developed.
It's not just enough to say that it's at the level of equality. There is additional steps necessary.
A restorative circle is a gathering of those people who are experiencing painful or violent conflict. And they come together to do three things. First, to re-establish the ability to hear each other. The second thing is to find out the good reasons why the horrible things happened, as in what were the underlying values that people were attempting to take care of when they said those painful words, when they did those painful things. And thirdly, to decide what it is that they want to do next. What I want to do is introduce restorative practices within a wider context of restorative systems, of communities that are self-regenerating, of organizations, including the university, which are beginning to think critically and creatively about how they can create the conditions for resilient community life. And in Rochester, we can see that context happening in several different areas.
There's one project that's happening here in Rochester now where they're being used to help people who are coming out of prison to transition back in with their families and in with their communities. My particular hope coming up is to help advance the understanding among people who work with youth in the community overall and how they might use this work. But I'd like to continue to think about how we could really employ these tools in meaningful ways in the university communities.
One of the key principles is dialogue. It's simply about taking more care and listening more deeply, listening not just to words but to meaning. When we start to connect on that level of meaning, we suddenly discover that actually we have the same fundamental values.
A production of the University of Rochester. Please visit us online and subscribe to our channel for more videos.